Lawrence of Arabia may just be the quintessential movie when it comes to historical epics. Of course, there are movies like Ben-Hur and Gone with the Wind that are great examples of epics, but if I was personally asked by someone who has never seen an epic but wants to watch one, this would be the movie I would direct them towards first. This movie has everything you need to be an epic. It is set in a very themed setting where the time and location are reflected into every scene. There are wide, sweeping shots of the desert showing off its rugged beauty. The cast is massive, filled with big names of that day, and hundreds of extras giving the movie a more realistic feeling. All the effects are practical to where it makes the movie timeless and not held down by the graphics of the day it was made. And most of all, it tells more than the story of the Arabs in World War I, but uses the characters to convey more timeless themes and weaves them into the plot. This film is packed with all sorts of themes and symbolism, but I would like to break down one theme in particular, and that is the meaning behind your name. The entire movie, Lawrence will rarely respond to his name being called. And when he does respond to it, it is whenever whoever is talking to him says Lawrence with nothing else attached to the name. Lawrence also introduces himself as little as possible and often just avoids the question altogether. At the beginning of this story, it all makes sense because Lawrence is not particularly happy with the people he is with and is also not proud of his family name. An early example of Lawrence being conflicted on his name is at the well with Sheriff Ali, and Lawrence doesn't give his name. He has become close with his first Arab guide, and Ali kills him, leading Lawrence to respond like this whenever asked who he was.
What is your name?
My name is for my friends.
As the story progresses, Lawrence gets more and more accepted by the Arabs, and feels more comfortable being an Arab, until he is called out by my favorite character in the movie, Auda Abu Tayi, played by Anthony Quinn.
Son, what fashion is this?
Harith, father.
What manner of Harith?
Beni Waji Sharif.
And is he Harith?
No, father. English.
This further conflicts Lawrence, and after the Arabs take Aqaba, Lawrence writes a note, and it seems we might get a hint as to what he is going to call himself, but Lawrence reads the note out loud until he gets to his signature.
To Auda Abu Tayi. Signed, in His Majesty's absence, by me.
Directly after this, Lawrence leads one of his servant boys to his death in the desert and is then in the worst state we have seen him so far. And once they reach the canal, we hear the question that has been circling around in Lawrence's head the entire trip through the desert.
Who are you? Who are you?
The next half of the movie focuses on a different question. Does your skin color decide who you are? This, of course, happens after he was caught because of his fair skin, then was tortured by an interesting character for it. He realized that no matter how much he did for the Arabs and how much time he spends in the desert, he can't change the core of who he is. However, this time it is Ali who tries to convince him that that is untrue.
I'm not the Arab revolt, Ali. I'm not even an Arab.
A man can be whatever he wants. You said.
I'm sorry. I thought it was true.
You proved it.
Look, Ali. Look. That's me. What color is it? That's me. And there's nothing I can do about it.
A man can do whatever he wants.
For the finale of the movie, Lawrence comes back to help the Arabs take Damascus, but is different how he goes about it.
You have bought these things.
I bought half the men here, Ali.
That is different. These are not ordinary men.
I don't want ordinary men.
Most likely, he is just unapologetically himself.
What did that Turkish general do to him in Dara?
He was the same man after Dara. The same man. Humbled.
We do get an answer for does the skin color make a man at this scene at the hospital when a British general slaps and insults Lawrence because he thinks he is an Arab and has no idea that it was just a British officer he just hit.
This is outrageous! 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 You filthy little whelp!
Lawrence laughs it off because that slap was ironically the answer to his wish to be seen as an Arab. But by the end of the movie, Lawrence is still not confidently calling himself by any name. But the movie provides a few possible answers for what Lawrence's name should be. The first possible answer is, it doesn't matter what your name is as long as it's your friends calling you by it. This, of course, goes back to the well scene.
What is your name?
My name is for my friends.
Then a final scene with Prince Faisal.
My friend Orenz, if I may call him that, my friend Orenz. How many men will claim the right to use that phrase? How proudly.
However, I don't think that that is the correct answer, because seconds after Faisal says these things about Lawrence, he says this behind Lawrence's back.
Ah, yes. But then Orenz is a sword with two edges. We are equally glad to be rid of him, are we not?
Another option is that it doesn't matter what your name is as long as you are proud. We see that Lawrence is not the only one in the movie with a troubled past.
Harith. Ali. Does your father still steal?
No. Does Oda take me for one of his own bastards?
No, there is no resemblance. Alas, you resemble your father.
Oda flatters me.
You are easily flattered. I knew your father well.
Did you know your own?
Yet Auda is very proud of his name, despite the bad history with it.
I am Auda Abu Taib. Das Auda Sim. Das Auda Abu Taib Sim.
The last possible answer is that history defines what your name will be. Never at any point in the movie does he go by Lawrence of Arabia, but today he is called that way more than he is called T.E. Lawrence or any of his other real names. He became a legend, and now that is how he's defined. That's the most I got on this topic. Let me know what you all think of this idea, and if there is an answer to the great question of the canal.
Who are you?
I'm now going to move on to part 2 of the video, just to compliment the movie pretty much. And the filmmakers is what makes this movie leagues above its competition. Every scene in this movie has something to watch in it. Something that is moving, that keeps your attention on the scene, which is something you need with a movie of this long of a runtime. For example, when Lawrence stays up all night thinking, the kids are there to create motion. A scene of just Lawrence thinking would be boring, but now it's intriguing. There are also scenery shots waiting for someone to cross the horizon. Even though there is nothing moving, there's tension building to where you are staring at the horizon waiting for something to peek over the ridge. And those scenes can be just as interesting as an action scene, for example. I usually do a favorite and least favorite scene in movie reviews, but I have too many favorite scenes. What comes to mind is the entire scene at the well. I love that scene and the acting and performances in it. And of course, the no prisoners yell. But my favorite aspect of the film is the Lawrence and Ollie relationship, and it all culminates when Ollie and Lawrence are having the common goal of convincing Auda to join them, and it cracks me up every time I see Ollie peek over Lawrence's shoulder like he's his little brother, or like they've been friends for years, even though they hated each other just a few days beforehand.
Box they have.
In Aqaba.
In Aqaba.
Where else?
You trouble me like women.
In terms of least favorite scene, it's hard because I don't have a scene that I just dislike in this movie, so my answer would probably be the lack of Prince Faisal. It's probably more historically accurate the way it is, but when you have Alec Guinness as Prince Faisal, I just want to see more of this guy. And it seems like he will be a main character at the beginning of the movie, but you see less and less of him as the story goes on. Speaking of historical accuracy, the movie does a fairly decent job at it. Of course, it falls into the man who shot Liberty Valance logic.
This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend.
But movies should be judged for more than how historically accurate they are, because a lot of the best moments in the film would have been lost if accuracy was their first priority. Overall, this is one of my top films of all time. 5 out of 5 stars, easy. It is essential to see if you have not seen it yet. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching.